everyone, and welcome to scrapbook process number, I'm going to say 48, but I could be wrong on that. You will know by the title whether I'm correct at the moment or not. On reflection, numbering them might not be the greatest idea, but too late now. Anyways, moving on. For this layout, I am using the absolutely gorgeous Misty Mountains collection from Kaisercraft. This was the first project I did with this collection, and I don't know about you guys, but do you find when you're doing your first project with a new collection, it takes you longer than most other layouts or other projects or something? I think because you're like getting to know the collection, and you either put all of the things on the layout and use everything, or you're really hesitant to use things. And I think I was a bit hesitant to use things in this one, just because, you know, when it's new and you're just like, oh, I might need that for another project. And anyway, so this layout did take me a very long time, so that's why it is a 15 or so minute video. But yes, anyways, moving on. So I am scrapbooking this absolutely gorgeous picture of my two nieces. It is an older picture. They are now 13 and nearly 15, and in that picture, I think the picture's about 7 years old, so obviously they're much younger, but they're just so beautiful and so gorgeous, and it's just such a sweet picture, and I thought it would go so perfectly with this collection. So my main paper, I've forgotten the names because I actually filmed this weeks and weeks ago, and it was meant to be published weeks and weeks ago, but the file corrupted, and so this is actually my second time doing this voiceover, but I managed to salvage the raw footage, so I just had to redo it. But anyways, yes, so the main paper I'm using, the one with kind of like, it's kind of blue and it's got the distressed edges. You saw me put a layer of clear gesso over that because, as I have said many times, Kaisercraft papers, they are not very strong, as it were, so they do need gesso on them, especially if you're doing, well, if you're doing mixed media. And I also put a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock behind it to make it even more sturdy, because I knew I was going to do a ton of mixed media on this layout. The reason, in case you're wondering, I've used a random piece of patterned cardstock rather than white. It's just I've got so much patterned cardstock, and a lot of it I don't particularly like, and it's also so much cheaper to buy one of those cheap like Craft Sensations 12 by 12 cardstock pads than it is to buy white cardstock. I don't know, but anyway, that's why I use that. So I just choose a random one that I don't really like and I know I'm not going to use, and just put it on the back like that to make the whole page nice and sturdy. The those flowers you saw at the beginning, me fiddling with, those were fussy cut from another paper from the collection. Again, I can't remember the name of it, sorry. But yes, the whole paper is those flowers, and I've fussy cut quite big clusters. This layout was inspired by one of the layouts that's in like the little Kaisercraft sort of magazine thingy that came when I ordered this collection. It's not exactly a scrap lift, but just vaguely inspired, so that's why I cut the really big clusters like that, because I wanted to use them in that way. So the stenciling I'm doing here, I've gone with the chevron stencil because in this collection there is, I didn't manage to get hold of it because the place I ordered from didn't have it, but there's a triangle stencil which I think works really well with it. And at the time when I created this layout, I didn't have a triangle stencil, so I used the chevron instead because I thought that would work. And then the flower one, like the flower borders, I've gone across the middle. That stencil, the flower border one, was from the works, and I will tell you, those stencils from the works, they are not good. They are almost a one-time use only thing, because once you've used it and then cleaned it, because it's on such thin plastic, it kind of like all bends out of shape and stuff. One of them I've just had to throw away because it's just unusable. But just warning you, those ones from the works, they may be dirt cheap, but they're not very good. So yes, I did the lazy thing here in that instead of mixing my colours separately on a palette or whatever, I've just covered the whole stenciled area with white watercolour because I wanted a kind of pastel-y effect with the colours. It did end up actually a lot darker than I intended, but yeah, that's fine. So that's why I put all that white down, just for laziness' sake. And then I'm going in with a mix of, I put some Dylusions on there in the colour Crushed Grape is the colour, and then using my Kuretake Watercolours, just the purples and the dark blues and stuff. The collection is, I actually keep changing it. Like I put purple on and I'm like, that's not quite right, I need some more blue, and then it ends up too blue, and then I put some more purple on. I did spend an awful long time doing this, longer than I care to confess, and a lot of it does get covered up. I know some people get really annoyed by that, like, you've done all that work and now you've covered it up, why did you bother, kind of thing. I see, no one's actually said that to me, to be fair, but I have seen it on other people's videos. And the reason is, when you do mixed media like this, or you do like a lot of stitching or something, the reason you end up covering a lot of it up is kind of, it gives you the freedom for where you're going to put your embellishments in your photo and stuff. Because if I did like a small mixed media area that was definitely going to be seen, as it were, that would quite limit me in where I had to put my things. Whereas if you do a big area, you're not limited, because you can cover bits of it up and stuff. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm sure all of you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you do it yourself. But anyways, just thought I would clarify there. So yes, I'm still doing the same thing, doing a bit more blue, doing a bit more purple. I wanted it to be purple, and then I realised the collection isn't really that purple, it's more of an indigo colour, so I brought in more blue, and then it was too dark, and you just see I just carry on over and over again. That little pot there is the twinkling H2Os, the Luminart ones. I've mentioned this a couple of times about how hard they are to get hold of, and I did some research for you guys, and it seems that they were discontinued some time ago by a British company. I think I'm getting this right. Yes, some time ago, and then another company, an American company, took them up again and started selling them again, and now isn't anymore or something. So they're quite easy to get hold of in the States, but in the UK and other countries, not so much, it would seem. So once mine run out, I'm going to have to switch to Shimmers Creamies instead, because it's just seems to be so hard to get hold of the twinkling H2Os. I did get outbid on eBay very recently for a set, and I'm kind of glad I did, because the price got absolutely ridiculous. But yes, so once that was all dry, I did leave that overnight to dry, because I'd done so much that I was just like, if I use a heat tool, it's just going to take forever and warp my page so much. So I just left it overnight. And yes, I changed my mind on what big flower cluster I was going to use, but yes, there's one going up at the top leftish, one at the bottom rightish, and then another very small one at the bottom left as well. And I'm just putting just random double-sided tape on the back there so I can stick it down, but all the edges of the flowers and the leaves and stuff are not stuck down yet, so I have the freedom to tuck stuff underneath should I need to as I am creating, and then I will stick them back down at the very end. But yeah, as I said, so I have the freedom to tuck things underneath should I want to. So with my photo, I am backing it first on this sort of triangles paper. I chose that one because it's got some of the more peachy elements in, and I thought that would help it stand out a bit on top of that quite dark background mixed media that I'd done. Again, it was darker than I intended, but never mind. And then using that sort of embossed paper there with the blue one with the flowers, and then that it's not marble, what's the word, like the rock thing, the geode, is that the word? I don't know. And I've made strips of that to back the photo as well, just because there was an area there of the mixed media that I didn't really like as much, and I wanted to just cover that up by just a bigger piece of photo backing, whatever you want to call it. And I'm distressing the edges of those pieces, both with a distressing tool and blending some distress oxides on the edges as well. Well, not some, distress oxide 1 in the colour Iced Spruce. I thought you would be disappointed if I didn't say it like that, because yes, Iced Spruce is a great colour. I think it's one of my favourites. It's just this awesome bluish grey, and it's so useful for so many things. But yes, I then decided to back my photo again with another paper, this lovely foiled one, because I wanted to bring in some foiled elements, including the title, and I thought it would be, I can't think of the words, but there needed to be another foiled element on there in order for me to add another one on there later on. I am making no sense today. I think it's just the dread of the fact that I know how long this voiceover is, and it's very hard work to talk solidly for 15 minutes. Fellow YouTubers will understand me on this one. But yes, so those long strip stickers there from that 12x12 sticker sheet, and I'm just putting those across like that, just to sort of carry on this theme of the straight line going across the middle of the page. So I've done the hearts, and I'm using these hexagons as well, just to bring in some more of the peachy, pinky colours and stuff, because it was getting a bit too purple, bit too indigo. There needed to be some other colours going on as well. So I'm just putting those across there. And then in the paper pad, it's not 6x6, it's 6.5 by 6.5. In the Kaisercraft ones anyway, you get all like the little die cuts and things to pull out. So I'm just kind of pulling out these little border things just to put around my photo cluster and embellish it, like the marbly one. There's that little tag, and so I'm using a mix of those things from the paper pad and a mix of random bits and bobs from the ephemera pack as well. So yes, there's that going on. There, I was going to use that blessed word there. You can just see it on the right there because I think it's really lovely, but I ended up not doing it. I didn't want this layout to be overly wordy, if that makes sense. I do make a lot of layouts that have got lots and lots of words and tiny word stickers and phrase stickers and stuff, but I just thought this one needed to be a bit lighter, a bit more florally, a bit more floaty, that kind of thing. Although saying that, I've just put down 3 things with words on, so maybe I'm just talking nonsense, but I thought that So Sweet, So Perfect was just so appropriate for this photo because my nieces are just so gorgeous. I mean, I know I'm slightly biased, but they are beautiful, and I will hurt anyone who says differently. So this is my title. This is from a sheet from the collection, which is just covered in these foiled phrases and titles and stuff. And in an ideal world, it would be a sticker sheet, but alas, it is not. So you have to either just... I've seen a lot of people just very roughly cut around them, like in a circle or a square or something, but I do like my fussy cutting, so I did fussy cut it like that. At first, I was going to have all the words connected, and then I didn't like those white gaps between the words, so I got rid of those, and then fussy cut them quite close, so I had the 4 separate words. And then I'm using this strip, again, from the 12x12 sticker sheet, just to sort of ground those words kind of thing, because they were a bit too floaty. They didn't look quite right. Just stuck straight on there, so I needed to put that strip down there just to help, as I say, ground them. And those are just going on with some tacky glue there. And I feel like I've left too much of this footage in because I've run out of things to say about this title, but yes, just thought You Are So Loved has just worked very well with this picture of my gorgeous nieces. I'll stop banging on about them now but anyways, but yes, just, yeah, appropriate, and more appropriate I thought than Blessed, because as lovely as Blessed was, this just works better, and it stands out a bit more because of the foiling and stuff. So yes, so I'm just adding in a few more of the little stickers. There's like a little floral one and a couple more leaves and things like that. And it was at this stage that I thought I was finished, but then I was like, actually, it's too flat for me. There needs to be some more dimension on this layout. So I then went a little bit maybe overboard, some could say, with not so much with these little paper flowers, these little ones from the range. I've used them many times before. As I've said before, I will link them for you, but it is better to get them in store because if you order them online, you get a pick and mix kind of lucky dip situation, which I hate it when online stores do that, but I'm not going to have yet another rant about it. But yes, so I put those paper flowers on, and then it's with these little flat back pearls that I may have gone a little overboard, but you know what, I'm happy. I love flat back pearls. Those ones I'm using there are from an older Dovecraft collection. I have completely forgotten which one. No, can't remember, but yeah, one from last year, more likely the year before, actually. And then I'm finishing off with these butterfly stickers. These were a gift from a very good friend, and they're the ones that you fold and they're only sticky on the middle of the butterfly, so they're dimensional kind of thing. I just used 3 of those lovely sort of lilac and purple ones just to add, you know, a bit more dimension. I think they are kind of perfect for that. And now I'm going in with that tacky glue and just sticking down those little leaves and flowers that were sort of sticking up, as I said earlier, that I was going to do. And then just a couple more of the flat back pearls, just because I love them so much. I think it's because I put a lot of the silver and blue ones on there, and there needed to be a couple of white ones as well, just to sort of have a different colour element on there. And then I'm just snipping off that little edge bit there that was sticking out, otherwise it would not fit in my album. And there we go, I am finished. So thank you so much for watching. I will leave links to where I bought this collection from. I also have a video where I shared the collection in case you are interested. And yes, other than that, I'm pretty much done. Please leave me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it if you liked the video, of course. But yes, okay. Thank you again. I am now going. Bye-bye!